Hello everyone. We're going to see the part B of Computer Network Laboratory of the sixth semester engineering. So experiment number 1 under part B is bit and character stuffing. So to understand what is bit and character stuffing and what is stuffing basically. So stuffing is just to say that what when we are sending a data over the network, how it can be differentiated in case it repeats or in any other condition. So simply stuffing, as you know, in regular English, stuffing means mixing with something or sandwiching it with the another part of stuff. So it is basically the data which is mixed with the in the beginning and in the end, and the data will be in the center. So it is like a sandwich which you are going to transmit, and there are particularly many uses of it. uh, the data frames can be of fixed length or variable length. So as we have already seen, in variable length, the framing, the size of each frame can be transmitted maybe different to the availability of the network. So a pattern of bit is used as a delimiter to mark the end of the frame and the beginning of the next frame. So in order to know what is the beginning of the frame and what is the end of the frame, this particular bit and character stuffing is important. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this code which is already shared with you with the manual. So the first experiment is the bit stuffing. So it's a simple program in the part B. So I will be explaining the program, each and every code, and we will be running in the code blocks. As I already shared a video which says clearly how what are the steps which you are going to use while initiating or installing the code blocks. So all the all the detailed steps are already shared with you. So I have already expected that you will be running the code blocks from here on. So when you write a program, you just go to file and new and project, or you can directly go to create a new project, and remember that you have to choose a console operation and go remember to use C, and we are not using C++ here. And next, for every program there will be a project title. Like for example, this is the program 1, that is bit stuffing. So you just give bit stuffing or something like that. Okay, so you can choose wherever the location you want, and the thing you want to give is next. So I've already written the program, so I'll be explaining. So once you create the program, you will be having a few supportable files. You don't have to worry about that. You need to concentrate on the .c file, that's all. So this is the bit stuffing. The program, when you give a run, so this is the program which is going to be running. Alright, so I'll just check if the program will be running, and it is running fine. You need to get a black screen, and it should show a prompt. Okay, now I'll explain what bit stuffing actually is. First I will tell you what is the output of the program. So in case you want to send a data, say this 1111, stuffed data will be this part which you are going to see here is my flag, as explained in the theory, and this part is also a flag. So flag data flag, this is what the output is going to be. So how many ones are there? 1 2 3 4 5 5 ones have been transmitted successfully. Alright, so let us change the input now. So I'll just simply give more number of ones, so nothing has changed, right? Okay, now I'm going to change in such a way that if my data is very similar to the flag, because my flag was 0 with the 6 ones or 5 ones, here I've included 0 with the 1 2 3 4 5 6 ones, and this is my flag. So what if my data also looks like a flag? So when I'm sending, it should not have a contradiction. So this is what the output supposed to be. Alright, so when I say this is my data which is almost looking like a flag, So this will be the flag and this will be the data, but as you can see there is a small change in the data. The beginning and the end is the flag. The data is a bit changed. The reason for that changing is this: since it looks like exactly the flag, I cannot say because it will in the receiver side it will be taken as a flag, so I don't want that to happen. So what we are going to say is 0 1 2 3 4 5. After 5, if there is a data which is starting with 0 and 5 ones, minimum of 5 ones, I will add another 0 and then 1, as simple as that. So I will add 0 1 1 1 1 1, and before I append this 1 I will insert a 0 so that it doesn't look like my flag, as simple as that. So once that is established, it is very easy to understand the code now. Okay, the part of the code which needs to be explained is very simple, and it actually doesn't need any much of explanation. So I will just use as an example. So we have already seen this is the part of the flag and this is the part of the flag. This is the data, and the data is incremented by one character, that is 0, which is um, input in the source, just because there is a minimum of 5 ones after 0, right? So this whole intention is to make the source which should not look like the flag. That is the only intention, right? So the program goes, I'll keep a reference with the output so that it is clear. So this is the flag, this is the count and source index and destination index. The hash defined function is used, that is the max, which is equal to 100. I've already specified here, and please don't confuse with that. So this is the input statement where I'm going to scan all the data from here which goes to source. Alright, so I'm going to copy. The first thing I'm going to do is whatever is there in the flag I will copy to the destination. Whatever is there in the flag I'm copying it to the destination. So this will be in my destination, this will be my source. So destination has already a part of flag here. Now what I need to do is I have to bring from here to here, that is source to the next part of the destination. So where can I put the destination into? That is right after the flag. So I need to know how much length is the flag of. So that is why this is the string length which is used. So once that is established, so I need to know if there is something in the source. So I can perform all this operation only if there is something in the source. So it should not have anything else. Then this, if it doesn't have anything else, this while loop will be exited. So while loop will be entered only if there is it is not equal to the null character. That means there should have some data in the source. Okay, if the source is equal to 1, then simply increment. So we have already seen, if the 0 is there, I will bring the 0. If the 1 is there, I will also bring the 1. So but I will keep on incrementing once. I will keep on incrementing the count when I encounter 1. So 1 2 3 4 5. Now 5 has already incremented. So once 5 is established here, 5 is encountered, 5 is equal to count, there is count equal to 5. What I have to do is I have to simply bring 0. I simply have to use a 0 soon after 5 ones. So that is what the whole program is, just to make it look away from the flag, or just to make it look other than the flag. So once destination is inserted with the 0, which is a newcomer 0, di is equal to di plus 1, that is di is incremented, and count will be again 6. Alright, so this is what the whole program is, and then later on you simply use the same part which you've already used here. You're going to copy or concatenate destination with the flag, so that this part of the flag is also put. So as simple as that: flag, source, flag, and the destination will be incremented with 1 in case there is more than 5 number of ones, that is with the 0. So this is what the stuffing with the bit looks like. So in the next video we'll be talking about character stuffing. So I hope this is clear. So see you in the other video.